Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the Chupacabra tutorials channel. I'm your host Larry, and today I'm going to show you how to connect your Switch 1 Joy-Cons, not the Switch 2, to your Windows PC, specifically Windows 11, using Bluetooth and DS4Windows. I will say that DS4Windows is a little out of date right now, so if you have some problems you might want to look at using Steam, and if you're using a game or playing a game that's not hosted on Steam, you can actually add it or its launcher to Steam and then launch it through Steam in order to use its drivers. So that said, let's get started here. We're going to need to download a couple of things. First, we're going to need the actual DS4Windows itself. We're going to need the ViGEmBus driver. And then back on the DS4Windows page, we're also going to need the .NET 8 framework runtime or newer. And the .NET framework is basically just like a framework for programs to run on that's released for free from Microsoft themselves. And if you want to download any of this stuff, I will put the links in the video description, or you can Google along with me as I go through all the different stuff that you need. So the first thing that you need is DS4Windows, which is here on the GitHub result called Ryochan7. You don't want this one here. This is related to some other person other than the developer. So go ahead and grab this GitHub page. Here on the GitHub page, like I said, you're going to want to click on this link here at the top of version 3.3.3. This is the 64-bit version of the .NET 8 runtime. You're going to want to grab that desktop runtime and install it. If you have a newer version, or you want to just go ahead and find the newest version of the .NET desktop runtime, you are more than welcome to. The newer one will work just fine. After that, you're also going to want to go down here under Assets and grab DS4Windows 3.3.364.zip. If you have 7-zip, you can grab the 7-zip version, but I don't always know who's got what. So just grab the zip version of the 64-bit edition. And then the last thing you're going to need is the ViGEmBus driver by Nefarious Software. That one is also hosted here. This is the top result on GitHub. And then here you can grab the most recent version, which is the last version, the It's Dead Jim release. Just grab the only version here at the top that you can download. It's just one version. And this is the driver that lets your computer talk to DS4Windows and sort of translate the signals from your controller to something that it can use. Once you have all of that stuff set up and downloaded, we'll just open up the folder. Make sure you've got the runtime installed and ViGEmBus installed, and then go ahead and restart your computer. After your computer is restarted, you'll find your little zip file with everything in it. Just go ahead and right-click that, and then extract that to a folder of the same name. I'm going to use WinRAR to do that, but you can use 7-zip or extract all, which comes with Windows. I just like to keep it in its own folder because it keeps it clean. Once you have done that, you can open up this folder, and inside the DS4Windows folder, you will find a DS4Windows icon that's kind of rainbowy. That's the one that you want to double click. And then once you get in here, you just want to tell it to run. And if everything is installed correctly, especially the .NET framework, you will have this little pop-up here pop up. And basically what this is asking you is, where do you want to save all of the data or all the settings that you change for DS4Windows? Just keep it in the program folder. That way, if anything ever happens, the easiest way to fix DS4Windows is to delete the old version, extract a new copy, and then just set stuff back up. So we're going to keep it in the program folder. And then once I click on that, this weird first launch window is going to pop up. The first launch window is just asking you what device you're going to be using DS4Windows for. It supports everything from PS4 to PS5 to the Pro controller, the Joy-Cons, and PS3 controller. We want the Switch Joy-Cons, which is Joy-Con device support down here at the bottom. You can leave PS4 device support on. It shouldn't hurt anything, but I'm just going to turn it off. The reason why these aren't all on by default, in case you're curious, is because sometimes on some computers, having all of them enabled at the same time causes conflicts and stuff breaks. So it's better to not turn them all on. So just turn on the one that you need and then click close. Once you click close, DS4Windows itself will pop open. It's just a list of controllers that are connected, and it has to stay open while you're using it in order for it to function as your driver. So don't like exit out of it once you're done. Just minimize it and it can run in the background doing its thing. But you might notice, Larry, I don't see my controllers here. What on the flibbity floop do I do? Well, we got to connect them with Bluetooth. There is a way, if you have the special charging grip, that actually allows you to charge while you have them plugged in together on a little plastic holder and playing. That one will actually let you pass through data and plug it into your computer, but it's not very reliable. So we're just going to do this over Bluetooth. So go ahead and jump into your Windows settings, look up Bluetooth and devices. You can just search for Bluetooth and devices in the Windows search bar as well. I'm going to grab the left Joy-Con controller first. Look at the back where it slides on to connect to the actual switch. There's a little circular button next to the lights. Go ahead and press and hold on that until the lights start to dance. And then go ahead and click on Add Device here at the top of this Bluetooth window on Windows. Another pop-up will open. Just click Bluetooth, and it should detect Joy-Con L or whichever one you're currently trying to connect. And then boom, that one's done. Now I can do the same thing with the other Joy-Con. I'll press and hold on that button until the lights start to dance, and I'll hit Add Device, Bluetooth, and then there's Joy-Con right. And when these connect, you should hear like a ding, and Windows might have a pop-up that's like, hey, we got your thing all set up. That's fine. It's supposed to do that. And your right Joy-Con, the blue ring around the home button might also light up. That's completely normal. If it doesn't, that's also completely normal. I don't know why it does or doesn't do that. And then we'll minimize this, and here we have our Joy-Cons working on our computer. And you might notice that only one of them has a settings profile. By default, DS4Windows will only treat these really as a single controller paired together. So if you got like, two lefts and two rights and you want to connect all of them together to your computer, connect them left, right, so that it automatically pairs them together as a set and doesn't try to split them up. And from here, you're pretty much good to go. You can use these. Your Windows games will think that they are a Xbox controller. There's not really anything you can do about that. If you were using a PlayStation controller, you could fake out DS4Windows to display PlayStation controls. But in this case, because this is a Nintendo controller and this is really not originally supposed to be used for Nintendo controllers, but the developer was nice enough to add support for them, you kind of get what you get. That said, you can edit the key bindings if you would like. You can click on Edit here, and that will open up the settings for the default profile. You can also create a new profile underneath of profiles. If we hit cancel here, you can go to profiles and make a new one here if you like. But basically, we can edit the default profile. And if you pretend like this is a PlayStation controller, you can hover over any of these buttons that you want to rebind. Like, let's say you want to rebind the up arrow. You can then rebind the up arrow to any button on a standard controller, which is basically the same as an Xbox layout. Anything on the keyboard or anything on the mouse. That's basically your options. There's also some plugins running around that also give you additional features and stuff for DS4Windows. I'm not really familiar with any of them enough to give you any recommendations for things like adaptive triggers and stuff. But I can say for what this is and the fact that they stopped developing this a couple years ago, it still works pretty reliably. And so whenever you're done, you click whatever and it'll bind that key. You just hit save here at the top, and then it'll save your settings, and then you can go about messing around and playing that way. You can also, I don't know if this actually changes the right Joy-Con color around the home button. Let's find out. It does not. I think it only goes to green. Or not to green, blue. Oh, good to know. And that should be most of what you need to know in order to get DS4Windows to work. As long as your controllers show up and connect properly to your Bluetooth on your computer, this part should work fine. Just make sure this button in the lower right corner says stop. If it says start, this program is not actually currently running. and you need to click start so that it actually goes, scans your computer for appropriate devices and tries to connect. If it doesn't really work and your controllers aren't behaving themselves, just completely tell your computer to forget about your controllers. If you still have the Nintendo Switch that they go with, and these are actually meant to be paired with, go ahead and connect them back to that Switch, go to the settings, and manually unpair these controllers from your Switch, then try to connect them to your PC again. Sometimes you gotta disconnect them from the PC and reconnect them a couple times in order for them to behave themselves. I will also say there is a high likelihood that your controllers are experiencing a fair bit of lag. There's not a lot that you can do about that. The only thing you can really do is go to Edit, go to Other, and then here at the bottom, there is a polling rate where you can change the poll rate of the controllers in order to reduce the communication time between them and your computer. So we can increase the polling rate till it's 1 millisecond of delay, and that sometimes can help them have reduced lag, although this will also reduce the battery life of them, so keep that in mind. 250 hertz is the default. You could mess with playing anything between 250 to 1000 and see if that improves things. The only other thing that would really make them better is if you could plug them in, but it doesn't really work reliably on Windows, like I mentioned before. And then, of course, just hit save, and then you'll be good to go. When you're done with this, click stop and then exit out of it, and then it will turn off, so it's not always running in the background. It's not really a big deal if it is. It doesn't normally take a lot of processing power from your computer for this to just kind of be on doing its thing, but I don't like to leave stuff on that I don't need. So that'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. This has been how to connect your Joy-Cons to your Windows PC and use them to play games. If you're curious how you disconnect these when you're done with them, you can just go back into your Bluetooth and devices, click on these 3 little dots here above each one of the Joy-Cons, and click Remove Device, which I'm going to do right now. So yeah, that'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.